How can we live a beautiful life when there is so much pain in the world? Sometimes it feels impossible, especially for a high school student like me. I'm Paige Olsen, and I decided to find out what it really takes to live a beautiful life, even when the world feels uncertain and overwhelming. Meet Ron Mortensen. He is 90 years old, and despite experiencing his share of pain, he's managed to build and live a beautiful life. I wanted to know, how does someone like Ron keep smiling after everything he's been through? Maybe the answer lies in his childhood. Ron was born August 14th, 1934, in Brigham City, Utah. Just 5 days before he was born, his father passed away from illness. His mother was left to raise Ron and his older brother Gary on her own. Ron remembers something special.
I was about maybe 4 or 5 years old. I decided I wanted to run away from home. So I got my little red wagon and put in whatever I could find, and my mother said, "Ron, wait a minute, you might need your coat. It might get cold later on." So she brought me a coat, and I put the coat in the wagon with the other material I had, and I took a couple of steps down the sidewalk and thought a minute, I really don't want to run away from home. So I returned, said, "Thanks, Mother, but I'm going to stay home." And she was so happy, she gave me a big hug.
There was so much love in their home.
My brother was older than me and taller and a better athlete, but my mother didn't want me to feel that I was anything less than him. So she always told me I was good, and she loved me, and she said, "I love Gary, and I love you too, just the same. You're just as good as he is. We're all the same in this family."
Gary left home to serve a mission for his church, but sadly got very sick and passed away at just 21 years old. This could have broken Ron, but instead, he went on his own mission to Niue Island in the South Pacific.
My companion that I went down with, he was a heavyweight boxer, and he thought, I haven't boxed for 2.5 years. So what happens? He lines up with the 4th-rated boxer in the British Empire, heavyweight. The 1st-rated in the South Pacific, a Tongan by the name of Kiteonelave.
The Mutis, a local family from the islands, had always dreamed of going to the temple. The problem was, the temple was hundreds of miles away in New Zealand. Traveling there would cost way more than they could afford. So, Ron's missionary companion, Chuck, set up a fight to try and earn enough money to help send the Mutis to the temple. But for it to work, he had to win. Before Chuck left, Ron helped him train for the fight.
He arranges a fight in the rugby stadium in Auckland, New Zealand. It holds 15,000 people, full house. So Chuck and Kiteone Lave have this match, 12 rounds. It's not going to be a problem for Kiteone. He's been boxing. He's going to knock down and knock out Chuck in the 1st round. Well, he knocks him down, but Chuck gets up. He knocks him down in the 2nd round, but Chuck gets up continuously. Knocks him down, Chuck gets back up. Eventually, at the end of the bout, about the 11th, 12th round, Chuck told us later, Chuck said, "I'm spent, I have no energy. My only recourse is to ask Heavenly Father to help me." He said at the end of his prayer, he felt the strength of the Lord.
After 12 rounds, your winner by decision is Chuck Woodward.
After serving a 3-year mission, Ron came back home and married the love of his life, Linda, then headed right back to the islands, this time in Tonga, where they had their first son, Jeffrey.
Everything was great. Everything was wonderful. All of a sudden, we noticed Jeffrey was losing his balance. So we went to the doctor. Oh, it's just normal for kids, that doctor said. But Jeffrey kept doing that. Kept losing his balance and not feeling great. So we took him to a specialist in Salt Lake. Dr. Schricker tested Jeffrey and he says, I think he has a tumor in his brain, which turned out to be true. So Jeffrey received chemotherapy and radiation. Seemed to be doing pretty well. So we got him home, and at that time, we were looking forward to a second child. And Richard was born. So Richard and Jeffrey spent a couple of years together. They were buddies. Jeffrey got sick again at 4.5 years. We took him back to the hospital. He had a very hard time dying. He couldn't die and he couldn't live. We called Elder Woodworth, who now lived in the Salt Lake area. He was home. Chuck, could you come help us? So Chuck came. He and I gave Jeffrey a blessing that he could pass. It was hard for us to give him that blessing, but just about the time we gave him the blessing that he could go, he left us. He passed. Our prayer was answered, that he could live in peace and not suffer. So we felt good about that. And since, we've been blessed with 4 more sons and 2 beautiful daughters. We've been blessed. Yep.
After raising his family, Ron would face another big trial in his 60s. Cancer. Linda, Ron's wife, talked about their experience.
And I got a call saying, come to the hospital, the doctor wants to talk to you. So, of course, I hurried down there, and the doctor gave us the news that it was cancer, and I just couldn't believe it. I just thought I was in another world. It was so devastating.
Ron told me he almost gave up. At one point, doctors told the family to gather and be prepared to say their goodbyes.
In every waiting room, the whole family just were on their knees. They were just praying so hard for their dad and the doctors. Yeah, it was just really devastating for everybody to think that might lose their daddy.
Ron kept fighting, and after many miracles, was able to beat it.
We have to stick with it. We have to stick with our faith, our beliefs, stick with trying to be the best people we can be. And that's what we've tried to do throughout our lives. I have not said, Lord, why did this happen to me? I said, Lord, thank you for helping me through this. I've made it. Never once complained about it. Thinking, this is what I am. I'm happy to be who I am. I wouldn't want to be anybody else. I'm not better than anybody else. I'm not saying that. But I like who I am. I like who my family is. My wife, I like who she is. I love my family also. Just the best people ever.
How did I, a high school student named Paige Olsen, discover Ron Mortensen's story? Because this amazing man isn't just a stranger who touched my life. He's my grandpa. My hero.
There's a great future ahead of me. I don't see I'm going to leave this life soon. I think I'm going to be around for a few more years. And I'm going to try to be my best. Do my best. Try to help people as I can. The Lord has blessed us with things, with plenty. So we're going to try to help those that we can help. Financially, spiritually, however it is, emotionally. That's our goal right now, to help others.